What's up guys, Kevin Cage back with another XRP update. You know the deal, like and subscribe for daily crypto news, and let's get right into it. So today's video is a must see, and of course, the video that went live this morning was actually done by me last night. As soon as I uploaded it and set it to schedule, I realized I should do one addressing all of the security drama, but I was kind of watching it play out. It was 10 p.m. at night, and I'm certain 30 people already addressed all of it and did a great job in the XRP community. And essentially what I want to address is this. Of course, we have a bunch of points, and I'm going to have you step into my time machine today. But we know, and we've talked about the relations with China and Ripple, one of the BRICS nations, between the US, this digital Cold War. There is a narrative at play. Some of it's true, and some of it, in my opinion, is still part of the theatrics. Now, I'm not saying, 100% of it is, but to some extent, there absolutely is. Now, Ethereum, Bitcoin centralization issues, mining proof of work, we've talked about it. We've heard even Charles Hoskinson, the founder of ADA, and his view on Twitter recently. I did retweet it, and he had very, very interesting and logical speculation along with that. And he's overall supportive of innovation and speculating what all of this is. Why did Ripple, the company, really kind of start this up narrative by end of year, and what is happening, because everybody's being distracted with what's really happening with Mnuchin in this, cold storage narrative as well, and the FinCEN regulations coming. There's a lot happening. So we have to understand that sleight of hand tricks exist in government, in economics, in investments, and they're always at play. So essentially we have to think critically here and just be open-minded. We've talked about, Stuart Elderati, of course, his comments. He's general counsel of Ripple in the past, talking about the SEC wanting to run an actual validator on the XRP ledger. I even said 6 months ago, give or take, I would not give this discussion, talking about XRP being a security or not, the time of day, because it was a waste of time. But it seems like people are actually scared and buy this crap. And if you're new, I completely get it. But this has been going on for years. We're talking, 8 years strong. So anybody, please just, don't be afraid of this. I encourage you to do your own research before making a decision for yourself. Obviously I'm holding XRP, I'm accumulating it. This does not change my mind whatsoever. Price is a distraction, etc. And I'm, just very skeptical of all of this. The timing, end of year, Jay Clayton leaves the SEC, a new administration is entering. Something just appears to be super fishy. Now, is it all coincidental? Is some of it orchestrated? And I still believe that a big part of the world is a stage. We also saw Vitalik Buterin, founder of Ethereum. He used to sleep on the Ripple founder's couch early on, or at least the former CTO, Stephen Thomas. And his comments were rather rude. Even Anthony Pompliano was very rude to Brad Garlinghouse this morning in some tweets, and these grown men are acting like cavemen. They're acting like children, and it's pretty laughable to me. I don't know if it's all an act or if they're actually taking real shots at each other. And you have, the sheep on Twitter going full force and falling for all of these theatrics. So essentially what I want to tell you is, if you have not already, go read Galgatron's blog, To Be a Security or Not to Be, addressing this. This is old but gold from October 2019. I'm not sure if he's updated this recently, but he has retweeted it, and I'm going to show you a few interesting things. Now, also, remember, in Japan, the FSA has declared XRP not a security. The G20 nations have declared XRP not a security. The FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK, has declared XRP not a security. The US, in my opinion, will follow suit. I believe this has been orchestrated for quite some time. FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, is most powerful, as I always say on this channel, when it's timed with price and, the charts actually show, a pullback, a dip, or anything like that. And when it's timed nicely, it creates even more fear in the market. If you actually are, emotionally watching the chart, thinking that XRP is going to go to zero, I don't think you should be in the space. That is a joke. You should follow the fundamentals, understand that. And if you're looking at the chart, when in doubt, zoom out and you understand what is coming. There's so much to be displaced. If you watch my channel and many others, you get it. So let me show you a few things. And of course, we remember other cryptos like EOS. Back in the day, they settled at the SEC over unregistered security sales early on. They got, slapped on the wrist, and they're good to go. This is essentially at Ripple right now. This has nothing to do with me. Retailers, I'm not really worried about it for the time being, all right? I believe there's going to be a lot more drama. Additional shakeouts. I know people have said, oh, I've heard, this is the last shakeout for 3 years. Well, that's good. You can, if you're scared, sell. It doesn't matter. You're not doing me any favor by holding XRP. This is an opportunity for you or your family and your friends. So decide for yourselves. I'm intending to make the most of this opportunity. All right, so Stephen Bull from the DF. XRP is not a security. This is from 2018. We have Michael, 8-year-long former US SEC employee. So not just some idiot like me speculating on this. Listen to what they say at Ripple. And I think you recognize this gentleman. This is Ross Leckow, who's on stage with Brad Garlinghouse. And he is what? Essentially like the legal person for the International Monetary Fund. So listen to their commentary laughing at the idea that XRP is a security. And in my opinion, it's always been. It will be designated as some version of a commodity, currency, or some type of maybe network or utility settlement token. Listen up to the people in power years ago.
So maybe a fun question. From each of your perspectives, do you think XRP is a security? And if you had to guess, what would you think the SEC would say?
Should we start with our SEC expert, Mike?
They're literally laughing.
I don't have
and of course it's an uncomfortable question, my bad there, but this is all planned. We understand. We saw the schedule. They met with Jay Clayton at the SEC. They've met with the Trump administration. Obama had, when he was in office, a DLT administration.
Say.
Start with our SEC expert, Mike?
I don't think XRP is a security. I think XRP is a currency, and the reason why is when you think about the test that was laid out by the Supreme Court in 1946 in the SEC v. Howey, which is, you've probably all heard of the Howey test. It's a 4-factor test: investment of money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profits based on the efforts of others, and you have to satisfy all 4 prongs. So if one of those prongs is not there, you're not a security. So
exactly, all 4, all or nothing.
With XRP, Ripple could go away and XRP would still exist.
So they've been saying this for years. The second they made that move, they're good. They're out of the constraints of the Howey test. I do not understand the logic of people. Now understand, Ethereum, they got called a little centralized. I hold Ethereum. I love Ethereum. But since they got called centralized, they're bitter. Pompliano makes so much money off of Bitcoin selling miners that don't even actually put his fans in profit. And, this is the truth. So they all have vested interests, period.
And so there's no efforts of others in my mind.
Anyone else?
And really quick, this whole, and I believe, everybody's addressed this, but this is affecting all of crypto assets. Look at what Michael Arrington, Brad Garlinghouse's good friend, and of course, head of Arrington Capital, has said about this. This is affecting all crypto. We should actually be together instead of being tribalistic and attacking each other. This is all a joke to me, all right? So stick with me here, guys. Hopefully you enjoy this video. So we have Galgatron. I'm just going to read a few points. Looks like scenario 2 is playing out, which is not a big deal. Shame on you, SEC, for dragging your butt for so many years. All Ripple ever did was ask for your guidance from day one. And as I've said, that's exactly what they did. So let's see. Let the haters have their day. This is massive progress for XRP and Ripple, the company. Sure, Ripple will probably be fined for selling XRP as a security. Okay, that's all good and great. We know EOS and many other projects had this slap on the wrist. It does not matter. If anything, it's clear, clear roads ahead. We heard, who was it? I forget if it was the CFTC chairman talking about it. XRP is either a commodity or, a security. It's one or the other. It's not both. All right. And now we have this, former SEC guy saying literally a currency. So be fined for selling as a security, but that act does not make decentralized XRP inherently a security itself. This clear distinction will be the outcome of the SEC action. This is perfect FUD. It may align with chart dips. It does not matter, guys. All I'm saying is either the bull run starts now or it gets dragged out and it's a final shakeout for a few months to try to scare people out. Those are the 2 scenarios I see. Technically speaking, all of Ripple's competitors would need this ruling themselves before proceeding, so it slows the entire pipeline of cross-border payments using crypto assets. Competition will not get the upper hand. Guys, we've been showing the G20 roadmaps. We've been showing the cross-border payment initiatives, the infrastructure being built, the partnerships, the mergers. We've been showing, what was it? There's just so many combinations of this. Even yesterday's video or this morning's video, whichever it was, talking about the foreign exchange, market and the overall risk and the settlement and the trillions of dollars being settled. Crypto assets are a part of this system. We showed the World Economic Forum in the future cryptocurrency council They're all connected. If you really buy this and think that crypto assets are not going to be involved in cross-border payments, I have news for you. And you're going to have to sit back. And of course, it might not happen tomorrow and you can call me an idiot, but in the years ahead, this is going to happen. And I will sit quietly. And I guarantee that those of us that actually persevere, diversify wisely, rebalance our portfolio, and know how to swing trade properly are going to come out of this market with millions. And that is literally the way I see things, and my mind's not changing. So Brad's reaction was a bit exaggerated given how long they've been prepared for this, but I believe he was trying to limit market reaction. Interesting. So I can't imagine after all of this is over, Ripple will not be able to sell XRP, and more than Satoshi selling his pre-mined Bitcoin could be construed as security sales. Do you see the hypocrisy in the Bitcoin community as well? The only time I, jab at Bitcoin is because of the facts of centralization and, of course, of the not just like the mining and the hash rate and overall, but the technology itself. The consensus, nothing. It makes no sense. It can be a store of value, but that is just a joke to me. So I encourage you guys, go to galgatron.net, Galgatron right here, .net, and you guys can read more about this. All right, in other news, as we keep going. So now we have the $600 stimulus check that's essentially been finally confirmed. And this may not be enough to tide families over who have suffered income or job losses since the pandemic shuttered this economy in March and caused unemployment to spike. Almost 6 in 10 consumers say they have suffered a financial hit due to the pandemic of the end of November. I know people have said this, I can't even go and sit in a restaurant and eat a sandwich. And this is what's happening. People are giving you $600 to stay quiet after months and months and months. And I know some people did get the $1,200 stimulus check or whatever it was. This is a joke. This is hush money. If you want to speculate that they're prepping for universal basic income, whatever you want, all I'm saying is this is a joke, and this upsets me big time. All right, from TransUnion, which also found that 40% of those households had been banking on the prospect of another stimulus check to help them pay their bills. There's people that need it, yet the government's able to print as much money for what they want wholesale wise, and they keep the airlines afloat and all of this. Yet the people that need it, their citizens that pay taxes, are just getting $600, which is not even enough to feed themselves, for that matter. All right, next up, sleight of hand, as I want to explain. It's all skillful deception in the world's game of chess as we edge closer to this newer financial system. It's going to be integrated. DLT is just one part. XRP and crypto is not going to solve everything, but it's going to solve enough to have a massive transfer of wealth. Right here. So we have a Ripple job posting. Of course, I'm sure many of you have seen this. The principal engineer. Ripple's the world's only enterprise blockchain solution for global payments. Today, the world sends more than $155 trillion across borders. Now, all I'm saying, give me even 10% of that, 1% of that, 50% of that. We're good. Zero doubt in this ecosystem. We can consider other initiatives as well to create additional demand for XRP, the asset, out of thin air, such as line of credit, the LOC, of course, that has been created and essentially allows RippleNet users to buy XRP, over a credit card, something like that. Then, how you create more demand out of it, out of thin air? Interest. That's exactly what banks do. Why can't we do it? Same concept, even, fractional reserve banking for that matter. It's all right in front of you. There's going to be demand for this asset class. Next, Wrath Economin, really good thread, but first I want to preface it just with some level-headedness for those of you that enjoy that. Actually, I think that was in the next one. So we have right here, Ripple partner, RIA. There's no doubt, there's no disputing RIA is massive. I know King Solomon has always found some great information on RIA, RIA, and has partnered with POS Indonesia, the state-owned postal service company, to provide cash remittance payouts across Indonesia. So all throughout India, Indonesia is one of the BRICS nations. Even Ashish Birla, SVP product of Ripple, GM of RippleNet, has said that we had, and this was like 2 years ago at least, if not 3, I'd say 1 to 2 years ago. 1 to 2 years ago, actually, because it might have been 2018, but we're just going to pretend it's 2019. They said we have 50% of the pipeline of India as RippleNet customers. And then when we get that, we're going to go to Wells Fargo and say there's no way to send a cheaper payment into India than RippleNet. And then Wells Fargo would have no other option. This is the game of chess being played right in front of our eyes. I think it's an act. You see Coinbase going public, Ripple's explained plans. You guys want to give up on your investment after some fear, sure, but I didn't come into this space for easy money. I came here to be patient, and understand what is to come. So particularly interesting because the Universal Postal Union, a UN organization, has recommended XRP used specifically for postal banks. And remember, Crypto Eddie did a video on this, I think 2019, showing this as well. So it's funny that it all comes full circle. We don't want to over speculate here, but I'm just showing some obvious connections. All right. So you can see all of the press. Guys, highly recommend following Roth Economy here. Great researcher, great threads. And essentially, he's making these threads so we can come back to it and apply our knowledge and see what fell through, what happened, and what is yet to come. Right here. And of course, old tweet from Ripple exec, Ryan Zagone. And what was his famous quote of Ripple saying, "Proof of work does not work," right? And right here, meeting the Bank of Indonesia. And of course, we already know Ripple actively engages the top 40, 50 central banks of the world, top 40, 50 countries of the world for that matter. So no surprise, and here he is right here. And he's moved on actually to a new role as well, which is interesting because it's still involved in cross-border payments. So you wonder, are they going to be competitors or friends in the future? Right here. So this is good stuff. So Roth Economy, we're going to speed through this one. And essentially, this is what I want to preface. To be clear, he's not suggesting anything is happening with Ripple or XRP yet. It just looks like important preconditions. These kinds of threads are to sort and track info, not hype anything. All right. So right here, keeping an eye on Gojek. And I actually know a guy that knows the guy who started this company. Ride-hailing app of Indonesia, an investment of Ripple partner SEB, Siam Commercial Bank, one of the biggest banks out of Thailand. In 2019, partner CoinsPH, member of Open Payments Coalition, now called PayString, and it used to be called PayID, incited in Ripple Press, purchased 22% of the local bank Jago in merger with Grab. So tons of speculation here showing all of the links and sources. Encourage you guys to check this out on your own. Remember, 2020 by Ripple was called the year of the digital asset. What is yet to come? Is this the year of, infrastructure being built? I felt like that was more so, 2018, 2019. Is this the year of interconnectivity? What is this year? Is this just the year of FUD? Is this the year of preparation? Because I think 2021 is going to be one for the books. All right. Now, this is a 40-second clip, guys. I am Legion, the GOAT, one of the greatest of all-time researchers in the community, along with Bank XRP, of course, right here. And I want to show you a few things that have happened in 2020. Now, I am Legion disappeared for a little bit, but he is back. We're going to speed through this and show you how far we've come. And this is literally, I wish we had like a 20-minute slideshow because there's way more, but I'm happy to put this together. So we have, let's see, overall growth, SBI with esports. We have currency cloud, of course, do not sleep on that. And of course, now we've gone cloud, and we're going to talk about Banco Rendimento of Brazil. And we've already met with the Central Bank of Brazil and the president this summer. It was all hush-hush and kind of came out. Let's see. Right here, SBI invests $20 million in core banking API integration from Open Legacy from January. You can see 6 in SBI Digital Asset Holdings, planned Singapore joint venture. This happened right in front of our eyes. We know 6 also listed XRP. We know, they're very friendly, Swiss regulated. We know Brad's spoken at the Swiss National Bank, SNB. It's all connected. It's just a joke to people, to me, that people don't actually see how obvious this all is. And it's a waiting game. Because the time and why it stays low is enough to make people second guess themselves and chase out. So do what's best for you. Japan's SBI invests in Russian payments platform Kiwi, April 2020. Right after the massive crash. We have Signum and SBI have entered. We've already talked about that. We have SBI Holdings introduces Bitcoin lending service, so lending Bitcoin. Also XRP and ETH have been determined to follow as well. We can talk about the money tab, notice of investment, and then RippleNet Cloud, and then right here, Banco Rendimento. Sorry, I almost said it was Rendimiento. Lemonway, just all of this. We're just going to speed through this. You guys can watch. OCC, integrating digital assets. $100 million Bitcoin purchases. China winning the CBDC approach. Talking about this whole narrative of the digital Cold War, China, India, the BRICS nations, Russia, as we mentioned with Kiwi. PayPal, showing all users can buy, hold, and sell crypto, and you're telling me that crypto doesn't have a space? No, something's happening. This is a massive rollout. So is this going to be the bull run, or is this the final shakeout before the fun starts? Either way, I'm happy. I'm bullish long term. Nothing changes my mind. We either get to enjoy the party sooner, or I get to buy even lower one last time, and it is game on. And it doesn't matter. If you guys get upset from exploring both possibilities, you were emotionally invested. If you see your charts and you see the bottoms at 40 cents, awesome. That's good. Don't let my opinion bother you. But I just look at both sides. And I'm happy to be wrong because I hold a bunch of XRP and crypto assets. All right. And then line of credit. All right. Now, remember, Banco Rendimento runs on RippleNet. This was June 2020. Essentially, they're one of the biggest groups or biggest banks out of Brazil, to no surprise. And we can see in the last 6 months, more than 80% of the new RippleNet customers have opted for cloud deployment, and 30% of all RippleNet payments are now being sent or received through RippleNet Cloud. That's very bold, and that's something we have to remember. As we can see, this was in June. So we're talking 6 months ago. Now, has this number increased? Has it shifted? What's going on? So we have to consider that. We can look at additional partners as well and keep an eye on all of these groups. So we can see they joined dozens of other financial institutions, Asmo, MoneyGram, Punchwal, Via Americas. We've talked about them tapping into the power of cloud. All right. Malaysia, Indonesia, India, Thailand. Never ending. So we'll keep an eye on this. And remember last video, I even showed the South Korean won being tested in on-demand liquidity corridors on Utility Scan. So I think just everything is getting set up for some massive, massive surprises and massive, massive utility in the future. Right here, Bank XRP, guys, this is going to be a long one, but I want to go over this. So I know this happened last week, Thursday, Friday, but I still want to address it because now the masses, we're all distracted by the security narrative. So we have Bank XRP, Department of the Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, and we can see requirements for certain transactions involving convertible, virtual currency, or digital assets. You guys can read more about this, I'm sure you have. And essentially right here, FinCEN has proposed a new rule extending AML regulation to unhosted wallets. If adopted, the rule would require regulated companies to verify the name and address of non-custodial wallet users for any transaction greater than 3,000. So no big deal. I'm not doing anything, illegal. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, they can know my name. Coinbase already knows my name. A lot of exchanges do. And now they just know my name when I send money to my Ledger Nano, for that matter. I'm not worried about it. But there could be, a greater, let's just say a greater reason for all of this. And of course, we're watching Mnuchin. Remember, he was formerly head of IT at Goldman Sachs before becoming Treasury Secretary. And you know who he's buddies with, or at least, in network with? Craig Phillips, who is a massive, massive advisor for Ripple. I think they're all on the same team, yet we act like they're all fighting and creating this war. The only war is us fighting each other. That's the distraction, yet these people get richer. So, remember, he's head of IT at Goldman Sachs, all right? Now, Craig Phillips was not only, with him at various roles as like counsel, but also BlackRock. And who's head of blockchain at BlackRock? Robbie Mitchnick. And he was also at Ripple briefly, and he did the valuation framework for XRP, showing XRP at $6, at $32, with Susan Athey, who was also a participant at the Bilderberg Group in 2013. If you guys do not know what that is, I highly recommend looking into that. That alone should, spell something very, very obvious. All right? So the weird timing is this. Mnuchin, kind of pressing his advantage during this time, the end of year. It's very fishy. I'm sure some of you have some great ideas. I speculated about it, but I'm kind of careful what I say on this channel. So you can't really win. People get triggered easily. Even when I talked about the World Economic Forum, then I have, half people saying it's evil, half people saying this. All I'm saying is this: don't shoot the messenger. I am here for an ROI, sharing information. Right here, guys. So FinCEN, the top financial crimes watchdog within the U.S. Treasury Department, is hiring 2 policy officers to help draft regulations for the crypto space. Crypto's here to stay. There's no doubt in my mind. If you're following along the news, you understand it is here. All right? Right here, KYC information for their digital wallets. Good. I am not really opposed to that. If I should, though, please let me know. Maybe there's some greater domination and centralization occurring. And I guess I can absolutely see that to an extent. So keep me awake, please. Next, we have Jeremy Allaire, guys, CEO of Circle. Again, another group I'd imagine going public. And as we can see here, this is just a massive 20 string thread here. And I'm not going to bore you with this, but there are some interesting points that he's making. Now, everything I retweet, it does not mean I believe it, but I share interesting ideas and I want to start a conversation about it. Circle, of course, USDC, the US dollar coin. Competition against, the digital dollar project, and, even Chris Giancarlo, the former CFTC chairman, who's a part of a law firm that represents Ripple. He's an advisor for Ripple. CFTC people, they've already met with the SEC. You guys are really falling for this and you think XRP will be determined a security for life? That's a joke. At best, there's going to be fines for the company, which is not going to affect me. For early on practices, big deal. That's just part of the game. So, His kind of speculation on Secretary Mnuchin, and we just talked about him and his connections, obviously, with even Craig Phillips and Ripple overall, but very, very interesting. Talking about how weird it is and, the end of the term and all of this in January 20th and pushing this and trying to review it in 15 days, give or take. It's they're just trying to shove it through essentially overall, waiting last minute on purpose. And I'm sure there's a lot of vested interests. I would not even know where to begin. I am, not involved in the space like this to this degree. So if you guys have any ideas or any information, feel free to shoot me an email. Links are in the video description. But just wanted to share this and I encourage you guys to read this. This was put out on December 20th. All right. Right here, these 3 2020 crypto venture funding deals are some of the industry's largest. So this is just on the block crypto. Take it with a grain of salt, but of course, we already know many of these groups. We're going to keep an eye on them as always. We have Backed, Ripple Labs, Paxos, Chainalysis, Bitso, of course, good for them. Bitpanda, BlockFi, Chainalysis, we've already said them twice. We have Bitcoin Swiss. We have, digital asset, Brave, Infinity Stones, Lightnet, Veeam, and Cello. I believe it's pronounced Cello. And of course, we have Andreessen Horowitz involved, and they were involved in Ripple early on. One of, their first investments was Ripple. So we'll keep an eye on this, of course. We can see their categories, and they're all going to complement one another. Again, just to speak to a complete newbie, lending, analytics, custody, DLT, software, cross-border transactions, payments, banking, all connected. All right. So we'll keep going. This is just another reason all the money in the space, they smell it. These people are big names from banking, from government, from, the legal space, you name it. All I'm telling you in this video is cryptocurrency is here to stay. There's going to be a lot of drama. There's going to be ups and downs. Markets do not go straight up and they do not go straight down. We are here to stay. Rest assured, stay confident, and please just know what you hold. All right. I know I sound like a little cheerleader for XRP, but essentially I am. And if I can help somebody change their life, it's all going to be worth it. So right here, guys, Bitcoin whales keep accumulating. We see all these bullish articles and, charts or whatever. And overall, just this. Cryptocurrency then soared to a new all-time high of $24,298. We'll see where it tops out at, guys. Obviously, many people anticipate that money will leak into crypto, depending on where you think we are in the actual algorithm. Now, we've talked about this for probably the last year and a half, 2 years. Bahamas launches digital sand dollar and adds to rise of central bank digital currencies. We know China with the yuan and their, the DCEP, digital currency electronic payments, the protocol, everything's being rolled out with even, tapping technology, near field communication, NFC. It's going to be automated. The US has to kick their butt into gear and update everything, but we understand that it can actually happen pretty quickly. So it's a digital Cold War, massive narrative going on, all pushing towards digitalization, and crypto assets are still going to play a central role in all of this. And most people, the narrative, they bought the narrative that's on, CNBC and a lot of these news sources in the media, that crypto is just a fad, in that you can, you don't need crypto for, all of blockchain and all of this. And they don't realize the actual application of the tokens. And that is where they're going to miss out. Remember, the trend is your friend. And of course, fortune favors the bold. All right. And remember, I was just saying, I'm going to get a little philosophical here. We have Capital Gains with an awesome name on Twitter. And so I said, think critically with everything that's happening here. And, just understand the vested interest and just try to think in every single dimension of what's occurring. And he goes, thinking is not knowing. And I agree with that sentiment. But remember, true wisdom, or, what knowing really is, true wisdom is just knowing that you know nothing. So if you're in a dark room and you think you know something, your vision is like a flashlight in a dark room, and you're seeing, one little 6-inch diameter circle, and that's what you think is the truth. And little do you know, there's an entire room around you, up, down, left, right, the depth, and you're missing all of that. So you have to essentially, when you say, I don't know, what happens when you say you don't know? Your perspective widens and you're able to get a wider view. So there really is, not to sound like a little guru or anything, but there is a lot more knowledge and wisdom in starting from assuming that you know nothing, because then you open yourself up to all the possibilities. Hopefully you like this video, guys. Be sure to give it a like, share it with a friend, and I will see you in the next one.